Promise that you sing about me forever. Promise that you sing about me forever. Promise that you sing about me forever.
So all you would need to do is go to VIEISME.com, viisme.com, and that's where you will find everything about Memoirs of a Forgotten Child and also what I've been up to. I do daily blogs, so it would be in the blog section. I also do YouTube videos, so it would be in the YouTube videos. And for the book, you can either go to the book, which details what's inside the book and the reason of it coming into existence. And if you already know all that because you watched all my YouTube videos, then you go to the store tab, and at the store tab is the back cover and the front cover together, and you would just click the miniature version of the book, and then you would get to the book page, and then you would get to the cart, and all you gotta do is click add cart, then proceed from there. So I am so digging this A$AP Ferg Strive. Like, this is my song. This is my anthem for the year. I could tell, like, this is the song I'm just going to be motivated by and just do everything that I need to do. First time I heard it, I have a Samsung phone, so I was on Samsung Music. And I heard the song and I was just like, the beat is different. It's kind of giving me like a retro feel. And then his lyrics were so niggerish. You know, the typical, like, bad bitches, drugs, violence, and all this other dumb shit was actually positive. And you don't hear as much positive music when it comes to rap because it's all egotistical and it's all about, you know, whose dick is bigger. So you have to flaunt and flex and exaggerate and be on some hyper masculinity. But this song wasn't. And I appreciate it because in this time of my life right now, I'm really am trying to strive and I'm really am trying to get this book thing popping. If you don't know, I'm a self-published author. I am the author of Memoirs of a Forgotten Child. And subsequently, this is what the video is going to be about me striving to put it out there and the setbacks when it comes to self-publishing. I don't know if you've ever self-published, but basically self-publishing takes a lot of time because you don't have the support as if you were with a traditional publishing. However, whatever money that you make, whatever growth that you have, it's all yours. You don't have to cut anybody any royalty checks. No one has any ties to your earnings or any ties to just your material. Your material is your material, and whatever you choose to do with it is whatever you choose to do with it. And that's why I went with self-publishing. And a lot of people are going the self-publishing route. I mean, you have Create Space, you have Ingram Spark, you have all these other resources that help you be the greatest author that you can be. What with being a self-published author, everything is on your shoulders. Like, you can't be on some like, oh, let me call so-and-so, they're gonna do this for me, or I can just check off on something, I just can send it over and then it'll be back to me and I know it's perfectly fine because this other person, they're part of the team, they're going to do it for me. That's not it. You are your own writer, you are the editor, you are the formatter, you are the spell checker, you're everything, and you're the marketing team. So it's liberating, but it's a whole lot of responsibility because it's all on your shoulders. Whether it's the greatest book ever or it's a total flop, it's on you. So this is what kind of made me want to bring this topic to camera. So I have a friend and he was giving me good game about being an author. And when you think about being an author, you really think about just the writing process and getting it out there, but you don't really think about the business side. And I think when you're young and you really have no experience and you have no one to really guide you, you don't really think 360. It's kind of like when rappers want to just rap and, you know, become famous and get women and the jewelry and the benefits and whatnot, but you don't really think about royalties. You don't really think about owning your publishing. You don't think about the business side of it because no one really is there to teach you about the business side. And it's the same thing with being an author. And my friend was like, oh, you should really look into getting a lawyer and look into setting up your LLC or sole proprietorship. Now, when in college, I took some business classes. My first major was actually in business, and I transferred over to psychology. So I knew what he was talking about, but I didn't know it enough to just go to get my business registered and be like, okay, I want an LLC or sole proprietorship, because I really wasn't sure how that would fit in with self-publishing. And he's like, I'll give you the resources that you need, but you need to go after it, and you need to seek that, and you need to put it into your goals, because it would suck to sell your books and you're like, okay, I got all the profits, and the IRS is like, you owe us a check, and you're like, really? And they're like, yeah. So you don't want to get caught off guard, and you don't want to be on some Wesley Snipes type shit and you owe a couple grand in back taxes, because you don't want all that financial mess. You don't want the IRS in your business. But like I said, a lot of people don't think about that because you just want to be artistic. And I get it. Like, I'm an artistic person. I'm very creative. I'm better at writing than I am at speaking. However, his business, you just can't think about, oh, I like what I do, so that should be enough. Or I'm just a creative person, because there's laws, there's, policies, there's certain guidelines that you got to go by, and you don't want anybody to steal your intellectual property either, which is what copywriting is. Essentially, I wasn't really going to go the copyright way, even though I've heard of it and I actually suggested it to a person. But I felt like if it's my material, it's my material. I can just be like, this is my thought, these are my drafts, like, you just can't jock my shit. However, in a court of law, it's about who can prove what. And if you have your material and it's out there and it's not copyrighted, and someone takes, let's say, half of it, you could say this is yours. But if they got it copyrighted, they have a better chance at winning, and they have a better solid ground than you do, even if it is yours. It's all about who can prove it and who has the receipts. And even though you might have some rough drafts, a rough draft is kind of not as great as someone who actually has a copywritten receipt from the copywriter. So those are certain things that people don't tend to think about, but you should think about. I don't know if it's any different for, like, let's say you're doing a coloring book or a comic strip. I'm not sure. But if you're doing, like, even it's fiction, nonfiction, romance, whatever you're doing, you should want to double check and make sure everything is right, cross every T, dot every I, because you don't want to be putting out 16 volumes because you kept on making 16 mistakes that you didn't catch at the first time, and now it's just kind of like sloppy. I mean, we all make mistakes. Not everything is going to be 100% all the time, but you want to get as close to 100% as you can, because it makes you more thorough, and people tend to want to trust you more and take you more seriously when they see that you actually put the time and effort into making it clean versus just putting it out there. Now, I wanted physical copies on my birthday. My birthday is not too far from now. My birthday is May 13th. And I realized that I don't have everything the way I want to. So there's really no point in putting it out there just to put it out there, even though that was my initial goal. But if I don't have my business set up, if I don't have the copywritten set up, if I don't have any of that set up, there's really no point. And going over my material, because my pages are around 565 pages. I know it's a long book, but it's a good read. It's a thorough read. And thank God for time. It's infinite. You don't have to read it all in one day. But I like what I wrote. I understand what I wrote because it's my story. But I want to get a professional editor or someone just to look over it to see if it makes sense to someone who's totally unrelatable, because it's easy as a writer to be like, it makes sense to me and I understand it, so therefore everybody else is going to understand it. And that might not be the case. You may be speaking slang, or you may say something in another language that if this is your intended market, they will understand. But if you're trying to reach everybody across the board, they may not. So you may have to take the extra time to explain, or take the extra time to create a story around why you said this or why this is that, so they understand, because there's no point in having a book out there and people can't understand it. There's a difference where someone's using really big words and they're very articulate and it's like 18th century English, and you could always crack open a dictionary and read and understand what they're saying, versus the storyline doesn't make sense because you were there and you understand it in your head, and these people are not in your head and they weren't there and they don't get it. So I guess what I'm saying is push back. I'm pushing back my intended goal, but it's not necessarily like I'm not going to do it anymore. It's just that it's supposed to be pushed back. And I do feel good about it because, like I said, my friend was giving me good advice. Tell me, like, I believe in what you're doing. However, you want to do it perfect the right time. You don't want to sign your name to anything that's less than perfect. You don't want anybody to view you as mediocre or all right or an amateur. You want to be a professional in what you're saying. You want people to see you and be like, you know what, I can mess with her or mess with him because they know what they're doing. They are smooth. They are clean with what they do. So I will invest my time. I will invest my energy into reading or getting to know what they're selling, versus someone who just put it out there because you could just put it out there. You want to be thorough in what you do, and if you want to take it as a career, you need to be thorough, because no one wants to mess with someone who's half-assed. And I know, like, for me, I'm not a perfectionist. Well, let me say that. Certain things I'm a perfectionist at if I really, really care for it, and other things where it's like kind of okay, or it's not really my thing, I'll do my best, but I'm not going to triple, quadruple check. And with this book, I want it to be perfect on the first time. I don't want to be like, chapter 1, paragraph, second line, third word, oh my God, I misspelled that. Like, how did I miss that? And I'm like, I hope no one else notices that, but of course they're going to notice that because they're reading it. And you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And that's why I pushed back the book. And you do have doubts when you do write. I think, okay, maybe I'll say I have doubts. And it's not doubts because I don't think the book is good. It's more like I don't know the response of the book, because when I tell you that it's deep, when I tell you that it's thorough, when I tell you that there's details, when I tell you that there is no one who is saved from being exposed, I just can't stress that enough. So I don't know how much of a ripple effect it will be, but I hope it's all positive, and I hope that it's not in an offensive manner, and I don't want it to be an offensive manner. I don't want it to be one of those trashy expose, tabloid magazine type of thing, because it's not even that. It's more like me telling my truth, and I don't want my truth to harm anybody else's. But if you're living in denial, that's your business. But I don't feel like I need to live in denial, so I'm not going to. But it's not meant to harm. It's meant to heal. It's a healing book. If you don't know anything about my book, because it's the first time you've been on my channel, my book is about healing from sexual abuse, but abuse in general, finding yourself, finding your confidence, being self-assured in who you are. Because I think it's easy to say, love yourself, appreciate yourself, have great self-esteem. But no one actually tells you how to do that. And truth be told, no one can tell you how to do that. It's about life. It's about going through the experiences, about going ups and downs, and knowing yourself and feeling okay to be you. And that's the reason why I put out this book, because when you are victimized, you always have this victim mentality. Even if you're not going around feeling like you're a battered wife, you always feel as if your voice doesn't really matter, or you have to overcompensate for what has been done to you. And I want to show people that you can be victimized, but you don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be a victim forever. You don't have to feel small. You don't have to feel like your voice doesn't matter. You don't have to kowtow. You don't have to be super aggressive. You don't have to let people know that you'll always fuck them up on sight. Like, you don't have to do that. You can be you. You can be free. You could love who you are. And I know it sounds so cliche. There's like a trillion songs and a trillion literature and poems and whatever. But my story, why it's different, is because I take you on an adventure and I tell you it in a manner that only I can tell you. I can't tell you it like a professional PhD doctor. And I'm gonna give it to you raw. I'm gonna give you the curse words. I'm gonna give you the inside thoughts. I'm gonna give you the details. I'm gonna make you cry. I'm gonna make you laugh. And I'm gonna make you angry. And it is what it is. But that's enough of my free promo. I just hope that you like what I put out there, and I hope that it resonates with you. I feel like you don't have to be a victim to read this book, but if you are a person who is a victim or a survivor, you'll understand, you'll connect with it deeper. But if you aren't, it's still a good read regardless. Yeah, so with self-publishing, take your time. Take your time. Take all the time that you need. I know you really want to get it out there, and I know you think it's bomb as fuck, and it probably is. And I know that you really want to make your mark in the world and be taken as a serious writer. And I know you want to make your money and get your coins. I get it. But doing it right the first time is a whole lot better than having to revise the 50th time and people are looking at you side-eye and crazy like, writer. Right. So that's the end of my video. Please leave your comments below. Tell me what you think. Have you ever self-published? Was it long? Was it a short story? What was it? Was it poems? Let me know below. Do you have any tips for self-published authors? And are you digging this A$AP Ferg Strive song? Because I am. Maybe you're not. But check it out. Tell me what you think. And as always, be blessed and